Shalom. Giving all praises to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Double honor to the apostles, bishops, elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to you, hopefully elect. And just back with another walk and talk in the spirit. You know, just have me meditating because the statement that I made in the video that I did earlier, as far as how, and this is something, again, I meditate on quite often, you know, because for me personally, at least, it's very uplifting that in the time of the said perils and the said destruction, all right, being that we're coming into literally the worst time in history since the world was created, all right. That's why I'm gonna go ahead and start off with this and Daniel, because that's the thing, man. A lot of these camps, man, they're there, and it's a scary thing, all right. It's a very scary thing. The fact that the times that we're coming into, here it is, the Wadi Yahweh Bashim Shai for sound leadership, for sound doctrine, all right. You know, because our apostles, and I've made this statement before, as far as a father, you know, a father, he's going to give you the game, all right. He's going to give it to you raw and uncut, and through the spirit, again, concerning our spiritual fathers, all right, you know, they don't cut corners. Our spiritual fathers and spiritual uncles, they don't cut corners, all right. And through repetition, you know, and spiritually speaking, beating the point into our heads, all right, into our minds concerning the times that we're in. See, because again, can't say it enough, man. Can't put emphasis on it enough as far as the times that we're coming into, how serious it is, man. You know, because again, moving forward, this is definitely not a time pursuant to Jeremiah 30:7, coming into that time of Jacob's trouble. All right. This is not the time to move forward with any type of doubt, and I'm speaking to myself as well. All right. But this is not a time to be moving forward. This time that we're coming into with any time for doubt. All right. No time of uncertainty or questioning. You know, well, the apostles, they've been talking about the MOTB, but you know, this is not the time to be straddling the fence. And for the most part, that's exactly what a lot of these so-called leaders in Israel are doing. They're sowing this seed of doubt, right? Making these small movie clips concerning the charagma, right? And just to cover all bases, you know, just to cover all bases concerning the MOTB. You know, because for those that don't know, a certain individual, a certain old head, you know, he made a small little movie or whatever. All right. It was actually pretty dope. It was actually pretty dope, you know. It's pretty on point. But when it came to the charagma, all right, and even more specifically, because, you know, I mean, we know what the charagma is, but as far as the MOTB, which is the charagma, and we believe that, but a lot of these other camps, they don't believe so. So going back to this short film or whatever, all right, which is supposed to be based off of all hell breaking loose, and you know, the one of the major prophecies concerning Revelation 13, 16, 17, and 18. You that's basically what this this small film was centered around. But this guy, just to cover all bases, right, included, because you got different camps, they teach different things. So in the clip, in this film, it was when it came to the MOTB, or excuse me, the Revelation 13, 16, 17. Well, yeah, the MOTB. He mentioned the charagma, all right, the C hip, but he also mentioned, picture of Cedric Borgia, and because that's what you got. Again, a lot of these kids, they teach that the MOTB is a embargo, Christianity, or picture of Cedric Borgia, so on and so forth. So going back to this film, and that's pretty much, to try to basically appease everyone, it appears, and cover all bases, right? Instead of just being all out, point blank, period, when it comes to what you believe the MOTB is. You see stuff like that, it sows doubt. It sows doubt. You got the Captain Cesariak completely butchered a breakdown of the MOTB. But nevertheless, he talks about he ain't gonna get it. I ain't gonna get it. But that's not what the Apostles of Great Millstone. All right, that's not, it's not the charagma, and not so many words. You see stuff like that, it sows doubt. You got guys talking about, well, the C hip is not the MOTB. All right, and some guys are straight up telling that congregation, go ahead and take it. You got some guys talking about you can take it, but then you can take it out. So, and there's plenty of examples of sowing that seed of doubt. And again, the times that we're coming into, man, this is not the time moving forward, all right, to have any type of doubt. There's no room for doubt. There is no straddling the fence for Yahweh Shema Shai. Because as I always say, one way or the other, everyone is going to be forced, or it's like not forced, but everyone is going to be, they're going to be forced in a position. We're all going to be forced in a position to having to make a decision on taking the MOTB, whether you believe it's the charagma or not. You're still going to be put in a position to where you're going to have to take it. A choice is going to have to be made. And for the elect, Lord willing, with that number, it's going to be a no-brainer. It's going to be a no-brainer, But to bring it all back full circle, because, again, matter of fact, before I get that, I'm going to get this. Zephaniah 1 and 12. And it shall come to pass at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candles. All right. Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. Okay. So, wherever the nation of Israel, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, West Indies, and Haitians, wherever they're scattered abroad, all right. It says, and punish the men that are settled on their leaves, all right. Complacent, comfortable. You see, because when you talk about the leaves settled on their leaves, it just reminds me of like the dregs, as I often mention, use the example of, because I drink black coffee when I need to, and that little residue at the bottom, I just pour it out, or you got a bottle of wine, you have a bottle of wine, that little residue that's at the bottom, eventually if you leave the bottle just sitting there, you're gonna have the leaves settle at the bottom, and that's just what it reminds me of. All right, settling, comfortable, being complacent, because that's exactly what a lot of these Israelite groups, these leaders in these groups, these so-called leaders, they're not, again, pushing that sense of urgency. They're not preparing their congregations, all right, they're not training their minds up. They're not teaching their congregations to have a moving forward, to have this, to develop this certain mindset of seriousness, of urgency. You know, and like I said, it's a scary thing. It's a scary thing. But that's why judgment must begin with those of the circumcision who know, you know, because again, you know, we ought to know better, you know, especially if you know you're an Israelite, we're supposed to know better. So, especially when it comes to these so-called leaders, right? But again, it's Zephaniah 1:12. And it shall come to pass at that time. And the scriptures often refer to throughout the scriptures, because you see, that's the thing. You know, there's been plenty of warning. All right, stern warnings at that. And more specifically, like I just read, all right, at that time, in that day, all right, at that time. Why is the Lord emphasizing a specific point in time? All right, that day, which some scriptures refer to that day as the day of the Lord's vengeance, his wrath, his indignation. You know, you see, because again, in that day, no one's gonna have the excuse, well, I didn't know. You know, no one's gonna have that excuse. I didn't know. Well, I mean, you can only go with excuses for so long, man. And that's the thing. This thing of ours, man, you know, we are held accountable, all right? You know, we are held accountable, all right? Well, for the Lord forces us to man up, hold ourselves accountable, all right? Which these people, again, it's easy to be comfortable and, you know, make excuses, point the blame on everyone else, so on and so forth. It's easy, and excuse my French, you know, but sometimes certain things have to be said a certain way. But it's easy to in this society to be a punk ass little bitch. That's easy. You know, and like I said, Yahweh Shema Shai, he has a standard. He has standards. And a part of those standards is manning up and holding ourselves to some, you know, to holding ourselves to accountability. You see? But again, it says, verse 12 again, Zephaniah 1:12. And it shall come to pass at that time. What time is it talking about? Real quick. Because again, a lot of these Israelites, man, they're not being prepared mentally, you know, spiritually, and hell, even in some, maybe most cases, hell, physically too, you know. Physically too, because we know, hey, we're going to be touched. All right, we know we're going to be affected in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Hell, even when this crisis, world crisis, started back in 2028, some brothers caught some brothers came down with that that virus. You know, and I don't know what it is, but because I know it's just not me. You know, because through the mercies of Yahweh Shema Shai, I've always had a pretty good immune system. You know, I hardly got sick. You know, I might get sick, maybe if that twice a year, if that. But again, ever since it stayed back in 2020, you know, I don't know. Like I said, I know it's not just me, but I've been getting more and more sick and just feeling the effects more and more. You know, just been feeling off and weird, and you know, getting sick more frequently, more often. you know, or I can at least feel my body, you know, coming down with something. So with that being said, again, that's why I said in some, maybe most cases, hey, physically too, you know, we got to be prepared. Now the scriptures do say bodily exercises do profit as little, but it does profit, even though it's little, you know, but nevertheless, it profits something, you know, get into the herbs more, fast more, you know, because, hey, like I said, we're going to be affected in some way, shape, form, or fashion, but that's all right. I don't say that to sow doubt, Lord willing, you know, because in any event, whatever circumstance that brothers are caught up in, we just gotta believe that the Lord's gonna deliver us. You know, He's gonna look out for us. He's gonna come through for us. You know, brothers deal with all type of bodily ailments. You know, chronic issues, so-called life-threatening issues. You know, whatever the case may be. But all this is about to change because you know we are in the state of mourning. All right, again, brothers and sisters are catching hell. You know, but as I did the video earlier, hey, all this shit is about to change. And Lord willing, where that number is going to change in our benefit. All right, scriptures say, in due time, in due season, will I exalt thee. Amen. The Lord, things are about to flip in our favor. And it's already happening on a low level if you're paying attention. All right. It's already happening on a low level, man. You know, but nevertheless, to bring it all back again, a lot of these guys, they're not preparing their congregations. All right. You know, they're not preparing their congregations, man. You know, it's a sad and scary thing, man. But hey, brothers are already to a point where, you know, brothers are hardened, you know. And it's just like, man, it sounds, as cruel as it may sound, hey, it's just one of those things. It's like, hey, well, better than me, all right? Because I'm trying to make it, all right? I'm trying to make it on the first go around, Lord willing. I'm not trying to come back as an innumerable multitude, all right? Now, that's good, you know. Because, you know, you have one Jake on the comment board talking about, hey, he's comfortable with being one of the 1/3, all right? One of those innumerable multitudes. Well, that's cool. That's cool. But I want to be I want to be part of the first dominion, man. I want to be one of those that was with Yahushua from the beginning. You know, creating creation. I want to be one of those. All right. So I'm trying to make it on the first go around. You see? But I was gonna go to this in Daniel 12:1. Because camps, there's some out there that teach that this already happened. Right? And that's how cold this is, because this is going to lead to the second coming of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. That's how bad it's going to get. Because pursuing the second entrance of 7th chapter, you know, it talks about, I don't have my apocrypha, but it talks about that day of doom. And then after that day of doom, roughly paraphrasing, hey, then immortality. So once this tribulation comes, hey, it's going to be so bad that, hey, the Heavenly Father is going to send His only begotten Son to deliver us. You see, that's how bad this is going to be. So if this has already happened, what I'm about to read, then we be in the kingdom right now. In fact, when you read this, Daniel 12:1, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that time. And at the end, thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. All right. So that's how bad it's going to be. All right. To the point where Michael the archangel is going to have to stand up. Now, there's been plenty of times where, you know, we've been in small forms of Jacob's trouble, so to say. All right, but Michael the Archangel, there hasn't been a recorded case where Michael the Archangel had to stand up. You see, that's how bad it's going to get. That's how serious this thing of ours is, man. The times that we're about to come into. Michael the Archangel is going to have to stand up. All right. A lot of spiritual divine intervention is going to have to take place on our behalf. And like I said, this has happened before where, men were given spiritual power and so on and so forth. But the times that we're coming into, listen, it's going to be so detrimental. It's going to be so bad that the power that's coming to those elect men is going to, it's not going to be like the earth has never seen before. Likewise, the destruction, which, it balances itself out because, hey, in order to receive the power, man, we're going to have to be in a position to need the power in the first place. We're going to need the miracle in the first place. You see? Because Esau, listen, he's got shit that we can only imagine. Information has been coming out about those direct energy weapons out there in Maui, right? Which, we've been spoken on those, some years ago. All right. But, as a matter of fact, I posted a clip on my backup channels. All right. And I always post, links in my backup, the links to my backup channels in all my videos. So, just go into the link description and, Lord willing, subscribe to the backup channels. But I posted a clip and I titled it somewhere along the lines of how we're going to need spiritual power, man. With the helicopter, right? Just go check it out. You see? Stuff like that. Listen, we're going to need spiritual power. We don't stand a chance. We don't stand a chance whatsoever. So it only makes sense. We're going to need spiritual power, man. But it's going to be like it's never been before. All right? Because the Heavenly Father is about to let this pit bull, his sword, aka Esau, he's about to let this pit bull off the leash. And that's why, again, it says, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And again, there hasn't been a recorded case where Michael had to stand up and fight on our behalf. Again, that should show you how serious it is, man. How serious it's going to get. Again, it's going to get that bad to where Yahweh is going to have to come. The Heavenly Father is going to have to send his only begotten Son. You see, because reading on, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. So, and I always use this example. I always say it like this. Because again, there's been plenty of times, where the earth is caught hell, tribulation, things have happened. The transatlantic slave trade, from the judgments of Yahweh Shema Shah, whatever. Going back to ancient Egypt, when those Egyptians, they called hell, right? Those 3 days, right? And we're seeing apparitions. Listen, I always say, break it down like this. Ever since this time is going to be so bad, because I don't think people really understand when that statement is made. This is literally going to be the worst time in history, and I don't think people really grasp that concept. The worst time in history, because like I said, there's been plenty of so-called bad things from the flood, but just to break it down like this, everything that's happened since Genesis, since the beginning of the world, all the way up until this point, combined, I'm going to say that again, combined, is going to be a walk in Disney Park compared to this time that we're getting ready to come into. And that's hard to fathom. That's hard to even imagine. I'm going to say that again. every so-called bad thing that has happened since the world was brought forth into existence up until this point right now, everything combined is going to be nothing compared to the time that we're about to come into, this time that the world has never seen before. And again, you know, these guys, they don't push the seriousness, man. You know, they don't push that sense of urgency. You know, they don't spit game to their people like our spiritual fathers. They spit in game to the sons, man. Like, hey, this is such and such. This is how it is. You know, going back to Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 12 again. And it shall come to pass at that time. So you see, like I said, you know, now, because sometimes, you know, these precepts, they could be twofold, and it could be pertaining to a particular time, you know, whether it's during Haggai's time or Jeremiah. You know, we often use the example with when Yahweh Shai was talking to Jake, like, hey man, y'all don't know, don't weep for me, weep for your children, you know. All right, because he was talking about 70 AD, okay, you know, the siege of Jerusalem, which took place around 64, between 64 and what is that, 73, 74, or 66 AD to around 74, something like that. But basically the time of, you know, the siege of Jerusalem, right? But hey, we can liken that, hey, we can use that to apply to now, you know, because hey, before the siege of Jerusalem took place and Yahushua was warning them, hey, it said that Yahushua looked over Jerusalem and he wept. And that's, for me, that's heavy, because being that Yahushua, hey, he's the top alpha, all right? He is the definition of an alpha male, all right? Austere, stern. And, you know, we're trying to be like Big Bro, you know? But even with that being said, Yahushua, when he looked at Jake, man, he was just like, damn, you know? And he said he wept, he cried. And that's heavy. Because as I always say, man, even when it comes to the 2/3, it's not personal. You know, eventually we want to see 2/3, even 2/3 in their right mind, because they are not going to burn in some place called hell forever, man. You know, that doesn't make sense. It just doesn't add up to the Lord's tender mercies. You know, the 2/3 will come back, and you know, we want to see 2/3 in their right mind. You know, eventually seeing the 2/3 in the state, and you know, seeing how they are right now, because yeah, you know, our attitude is the hell with 2/3. Fuck Jake. But at the same time, seeing 2/3 in the condition that they're in, man, she gets played out, man. It's just like, God damn, the Lord has to come back, and you know, which he is coming back with healing in his wings. But nevertheless, hey, Yahushua, he was looking at Jake like, man, damn. You know, Jake really don't know what's getting ready to happen. And again, you know, ultimately talking about that time during the siege of Jerusalem, but even now more so, it's just like, damn, man. You know, as much as we curse 2/3 out and whatnot, but it's just like, man, damn. Jake really don't know what's getting ready to happen. It's to a point with me, man, I just, certain family and relatives, and it's all through the spirit, all right? Because as I did the video earlier, man, just detaching yourself more and more as much as possible, you know? Because even with certain family members, and again, I think it's spiritual, because I've always kind of been to myself, like a loner, you know, to myself, you know? But it just seems like more and more, certain family members, they want to reach out more, they want to hang out more, they just want to be around me more. And just me personally, I'm not trying to, you know, me personally, all right, I'm not saying you should do this, but I just try to keep my distance as much as possible, man, because, you know, I don't know, even when it comes to my my little Satan, all right, my demon, my rib, and hell, even with the children, you know, I take care of my responsibilities as a man, as a husband, father, and whatnot. But even with that, because I don't know, they might not make it. They might make it, but they might not. And that's, again, it sounds cruel, harsh, or whatever, but hey, this is that mindset, like I was saying, you know, the mindset that we have to have, all right, being ready to just say, hey, I had to leave it all behind. Because, hey, Lot's wife, hey, to you brothers that have wives, myself included, hey, she might be back, and she might be one of our wives. You know, I'm just talking through the spirit, I don't know. Or nevertheless, that spirit of Lot's wife might be on some of our wives. Some of our children, they might not make it. They might not. We don't know. But hey, I always say this, and again, it sounds cool, but worst case scenario, which is really the best case scenario, all right, hey, the Lord might kill them. And with that being said, hey, I'll see y'all on the other side. I always, I tell my demon that all the time. Like, hey, I might see y'all on the other side, man. You see, but again, man, to bring it all back, that just goes back to the serious mindset, man. Just that mindset, having that understanding, like, yeah, because no one's exempt. All right. And speaking of, I'm gonna read this again to finish it out. Zephaniah 1:12 again. And it shall come to pass at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candles and punish the men that are settled on their lees. Hey, a lot of people are going to get, more specifically Jake, all right, they're going to get caught like a thief in the night, comfortable, caught with their pants down, right? It says, and they'll punish the men that are settled on their lees, that say in their heart, the Lord will not do good, neither will he do evil. So you see, man, a lot of Jake thinking that the Lord ain't coming back no time soon. Okay, we'll see. We'll see. All right. Jacob's trouble already happened. Jacob's trouble is gay. Okay, we'll see. We'll see. All right, because at the end of the day, the Lord is going to have the last laugh. And how is he going to have the last laugh? Hey, again, man, the spirit is going to be on brothers, which brings me to this, man. Because like I said, brothers already have a cold spirit as it is, man. Like I just said, my demon, my children, they might not make it. They might, but they might not. But then they might not. So, either way, I don't care. I can care less. I got bigger fish to fry. Worst case scenario, which is really the best case scenario, like I said, I'll see them on the other side. And going back to what I was saying with, certain of my family members, loved ones, it's just like more and more they want to be around me. They want to reach out, And it's like, damn, now that I'm trying to, well, I've been trying to just keep that distance, but, because, we all have, when we first wake up to this truth, we all heard, oh, you're crazy, you're Muslim, or it's just a phase. We all heard it. And one of my aunts in particular, um, she was a close aunt, she was a close aunt, all right, and she was one of those, for me personally, when I first woke into this truth, and I was telling everyone, my family and neighbor, aunties, uncles, and all of them, right, and she was one of the main ones, talking about I'm a Muslim, and you're in a cult, and this and that, trying to force me to go to church, and she would, because, I told her I don't eat pork, but when I was over there with her, house or whatnot, she would make spaghetti and sausages in it. She know damn well I ain't eating that shit. Just a spirit on her to fuck with me. It's all good. Well, throughout the years, hey, that like I said, that distance. But I was talking to my father the other day, man. He was like, hey, your aunt asking about you. She wants to reach out. I'm like, you can't make this up. You can't make this up. I ain't talked to her in years, and all of a sudden she wants to reach out. She's asking about me. She wants to get in contact. And like I said, now that I'm at a time where I'm even more than I've ever been, keeping that distance and just, I'm just staying the course. All right. And like I said, people want to reach out and, get in contact. But in my mind, hey, again, I don't know. So it's just like, hey, man, the Lord might kill all these people. And the scriptures talk about that, how, hey, for you elect brother or you elect sister, whoever you are, hey, you might be the only one in your family to make it. You might be the only one in your family to make it. That will be the case for some, or, certain of our families, loved ones and whatnot, they might make it through you. So, either, whatever the laws will be, I don't ponder on it too much, but I'm going to this now. In Job chapter 5, verse 17, behold, happy is the man whom God correcteth. Because, hey, you see, yeah, it hurts getting our asses whooped now, but it's going to pay off in that day. Like I said, brothers are going to be in a cold spirit. Like I said, the Lord is going to have the last laugh at the end of the day. And how's he going to laugh? Through his men. And brothers already have that cold spirit on them now. We see judgment every day, and it's like, damn. You know? It's like, damn. Shit. Well, hey, keep it pushing, you know? We be seeing judgment, and we be laughing. You know? So it's already happening now on a low level, right? Because what does the scripture say? The Lord condemns it. He chastises us now, so we're not condemned with the world. All right? So we get our ass whooping now while the Lord is, still showing us mercy, right? Because when the Lord opens up judgment, and that's what this time of Jacob's trouble is about, all right? Judgment for 2/3. Now the other nations are going to get caught up in it because they're just casualties of war, all right? But the focus is you Israelites, all right? Because it's like, how much more talking does the Lord need to do? You know, how much strickening? You're only going to get worse and worse. So the Lord's just going to open the can of whoop ass on Jake. And that's what Jacob's trouble is about. Trouble for Jacob, which Jake is just short for Jacob. You know, that's what Jacob's trouble is about. Trouble for Jacob. Trouble for Jake. All right. And that's going to be without mercy. So, we deal with our chastity now while the Lord's still showing us mercy. Because when that door of mercy closes, hey, that's it. That's it, man. And hey, again, the Lord is going to have the last laugh. And brothers are going to be all right. Job 5:17 again. Behold, happy is the man whom God correcteth. Therefore despise not thou the chastening of the Almighty. And you see, that's what the world is getting ready to be reintroduced to. The Alashadya. Because when you read certain verses where it talks about the Almighty God, all right, that's the Alashadya, man. That terrible demon-like power. You see? It says, for he maketh sore and bindeth up, he woundeth, and his hands make whole. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. All right, and hey, we're right now in between the 6th and the 7th trouble or trumpet. All right, Jacob's trouble, which is gonna in turn lead to that 7th. All right, which consists of the missiles, the second coming of who the word ignorantly calls Yahushai or Slakia, who the word ignorantly calls Jesus. All right, his name is Yahushai. All right, because Jacob's trouble again is going to lead to, one thing is going to lead to another. The missiles are going to get shot off. This is going to be in the height of World War III. All right, and from there, those missiles are going to get shot, and Yahushua is going to make his return. All right, so this is the 6th going into the 7th. Right? It says, in famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. Because like I said, man, brothers are going to be put in straits. But like I was mentioning earlier, man, to me personally, just speaking as a man, I think that, hey, this is going to be like an adrenaline rush. We're going to have plenty of, oh shit moments. But hey, the Lord's going to show us that he's dealing with us. The Lord's going to show up and he's going to show out on the behalf of his men. All right, because, the men on the Lord have been on the bottom for the longest, man. It's just like, man, I get tired of seeing this shit. I get tired of seeing brothers, I want to see brothers get theirs, even if I don't make it. I want to see brothers make it, man. I want to see brothers get theirs. I want to see the men of Yahweh Shema Shah get theirs, man. Tired of this shit. But it's all right. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shah, Lord, one aware that number, we're going to have the last laugh. It says, thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. So you see, what type of spirit is that going to be? Because there's another scripture in Peter talks about how hey, roughly paraphrasing, hey, we're going to have to be ready to give an answer of the hope that's in us. Like, why are y'all so good? Why y'all aren't bugging out like everyone else is bugging out? Why aren't y'all ain't tripping? There's something different about y'all. Because there's going to be a special spirit on the men of Yahweh Shema Shah, man. As I said earlier, we're ready for this shit. We can't wait. Brothers, I believe, are going to be crying tears of joy when this place finally collapses, man. You know, the U.S. debt just hit a 33 trillion, right? Which is a lot more than that, but not even going to get into that. But you know, 33 trillion, right? Which that's also spiritual because 33, you know, that's a, you know, Esau, he deals with numbers, and you know, so 33, you know, but nevertheless, hey, when this dollar collapses finally, or when when all hell breaks loose, man, brothers are gonna be crying tears of joy, man. I believe, you know. So when the destruction comes, man, hey, brothers are gonna be laughing. Brothers are gonna be like, finally, man, fuck, you know, can't wait. It says at destruction and famine, thou shalt laugh. So what type of spirit is that gonna be? When all hell is breaking loose, and as I read in Daniel 12, this is literally going to be the worst time the earth has ever seen. But yet you're gonna have a select group of men laughing. What kind of spirit is that gonna be? Again, there's a special spirit that Yahweh Shema Shai is gonna have on his men. You know, to be able to laugh at destruction, people perishing, horrible, dying, horrible, all type of shit, man. But yet, brothers are gonna be laughing. Brothers are gonna be in a safe case. Like I said, we're all gonna be put in certain situations where it's gonna be like, oh shit, we're gonna have our oh shit moments, but the Lord's going to deliver us. And from there, it's gonna boost our confidence even more. All right, because like it says in 2 Ezra 16, in that day it shall be made known who my men are. The word is gonna show that all the shit that y'all were talking about, these are the men that I was dealing with the whole time. Yes, these were my men. Y'all were talking all that shit. Look at you. And that's how brothers are gonna be in that day. Like, you know, everyone that did us wrong, everyone that we put curses upon, you know, everyone that's fucked with us, hey, in that day, brothers are gonna be arrogant in righteousness, believe it or not. Brothers are gonna be arrogant as hell, but there's gonna be arrogance in righteousness. Because, hey, what does the scripture say? I will boast in Yahweh Shema Shai, man. Like we told you, dumbass people, man. Now look at you. You know, and again, if you think that's a hard pill to swallow, hey, you better read 2 Ezra 9. It says these people shall be in a pitiful case. Like, damn, you know. And it reminds me of going back to Samaria, right? During the time of the famine, you know, you had the woman sitting on the wall crying out to the king. What he said, man, I can't do nothing for you. If Yahweh Shema Shai ain't fucking what you want me to do? You know, hey, being in a pitiful case, like, damn, you know, and just walking over niggas, man. Walking over these people. Excuse me, you know, excuse me. You know, dodging motherfuckers, man. And not looking back, all right? And the scripture said, man, don't worry about the ungodly, man. We can't worry about these people, man. You know, that Captain Saberho spirit, as we see more and more playing out, hey, that Captain Saberho spirit is going out the door. It's definitely going to be out the door in that day. There's going to be every man for himself. And it's going to be literally that, every man for himself. But with Yahweh Shema Shai, he's going to be with us. While these people, they're going to have to fend for themselves. Yahweh Shema Shai is going to be with us. So we've got nothing to worry about. All right. Again, Job 5:22. At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. For thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with thee. So you see, man, you know, even the animals are going to be in our favor, man. You know, because I've been looking at these animals, man. You know, these animals are miserable. There should not be a such thing as a fucking dog with Down syndrome. What kind of shit is that? You literally got dogs and cats, pets that are dealing with depression, taking all type of medication. You know, dogs and cats with Down syndrome. What type of shit is that? These animals, they're suffering. You know, and if you're paying attention, I see it, you know. I see it sometimes, you know. And just, and I'm just again, speaking expressly through the spirit, you know. Because it's not literal, but you can almost kind of like communicate, you know, almost, because you know what they're thinking. You know, you can kind of sense what they're thinking, what these animals are thinking, man. And they just be looking like, man, y'all ain't in power yet, man. So it's like, fuck, I'm tired of this shit, you know. You'll see Edomite walking a dog, and he's looking at you like, man, y'all ain't in power yet. I'm tired of this Edomite touching me, you know. You know, it's just like, man. Well, hey, and then more and more, these attacks have been on the rise because these animals are tired. You know, there's been all type of cases of, mainly with Esau, you know, Edomites getting eaten by these alligators, bee attacks are on the rise, and that's spiritual because, damn, where the bees been at? You know, it's like, where y'all been hiding at? You know, there was always a point in time of the year where you have all these bees, but we ain't been seeing them over the past decades, you know, years and whatnot. The past decade, you ain't seen no bees. Well, now all of a sudden, people are getting attacked by these bees. It's like, where y'all been at this whole time? What y'all been doing? Where y'all been hiding? Well, hey, by the teeth of wild beasts and newly created beasts. So Yahweh Shema Shai, and it all ties into Jacob's trouble because, hey, Yahweh Shema Shai, we're going to see more of a lion attacks and bears, so on and so forth. The things that we know about. But listen, Yahweh Shema Shai, he's got shit that, he's got some shit out here that we ain't never seen before. You know, you talk about the Leviathan. Leviathan's going to make his grand entrance in that day. Reminds me of that movie Cloverfield, you know. It reminds me of that movie Cloverfield, right? There's going to be shit like that for real going on in real life, in real time, man. You know, some sea monsters, sea urchins, you know, all these mystical creatures that we used to read about, Bigfoot, man, the Lord got some shit out here for real, you know. And another thing that I always say, hey, America's going to be the worst rated R movie of all time. Because you got a lot of, especially when it comes to these women, all right, you know, women are scared of snakes, cockroaches, be about to burn a whole house down over a spider, man. You know, well, hey, it's going to be 8-legged freaks for real out here, all right? You're going to have spiders fucking 10 stories tall, man, 10 stories tall, for real walking around out here. But guess what? They're going to be in league with us, all right? You might be you might see a group of 2/3, man, running away from some possessed Chucky doll, right? You know, and you just looking at this shit like, damn. And the Chucky doll might stop and turn to you and say shalom and keep moving, you know, keep chasing them niggas. This is the stuff that we've got to look forward to. Lord willing, wear that number, man. Because that's why I say, hey, America's about to be the worst rated R movie of all time. All right, the shit that you only thought was on TVs, and no, man, that shit is gonna be a reality. Freddy really gonna be plaguing people out here. All right, you're gonna see Jason out here, Jason X, you know, all type of shit. Hellraiser for real, Boogeyman for real. All right, and then some shit that we have never seen before. The Lord's got some special shit for this place, but hey, you know, we're gonna be all right. We might be running from some martial law troops in that day. Right? You know, we might get back into a corner and boom, fucking, I don't know, a damn werewolf with 4 arms might come out and save us. You know, might kill all the martial law troops and look at you again, shalom, and boom, he's gone. You know, this is stuff that we got to look forward to. This is the type of shit we've got to look forward to, man. Lord willing, wear that number. You know, so that's why the Lord said, hey, sit back, be still, and know that I am. The Lord's got us, man. The Lord's got us. You know, the Lord's got us. The Spirit is with us. Again, we don't refer to ourselves as the hopeful elect for no reason. Hey, man, someone's got to play these roles. And why can't it be you? Why not you? If you've been doing what, you know, putting your best foot forward, why not you? You know, but to a lot of these other guys, hey, this shit is just a fantasy. You know, believe it or not, some of these Israelite groups, they don't believe in the spiritual power, man. They don't believe in spiritual power. You know, that's too far-fetched. They think that's all that's going to come in the kingdom. Nah, man. Well, again, since a lot of these other camps don't believe in the spiritual power, that's fine. Because, hey, that just makes our chances better. Y'all don't believe in the spiritual power. Y'all don't believe in the elect. Whatever. Okay. Lord willing, we're glad to take those roles. We're glad to take those roles, man. That just Lord's willing betters our chances. Since y'all don't believe it, well, somebody's got to play these roles, man. Someone's got to play these roles. And why can't it be you? You know? But Lord willing, this was edifying, giving all praises to Yahweh B'Shem Shai. Shalom to you, hopefully, Lord willing, until the next one.